Welcome to the Geeking Poetic podcast channel.
On this channel, we have shows and segments that contain adult humor,
bad language, dirty jokes,
and other stuff that is strictly for mature audiences only.
So if you're too young or too sensitive for this kind of material, then please do not watch our channel or our videos.
This channel is not for you.
Thanks much.
And now, on with the show! About to fall over.
And what's going on, everybody? What's happening? Welcome. This is the Geeking Squad podcast, episode number 15. Megan doubted me on that earlier, but I assured her it is actually
You set my ass straight.
It is actually number 15. How are you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
Pretty good.
I'm doing all right. I am one of your hosts, Larry Roberts. Down the way, old stripey stripe. Vito, you wear the stripes a lot, man. You notice that?
Walmart special, bro. I got a black one, I got a blue one, and I got a camo one.
That explains it.
Once I find something that fits me semi-well, I buy like all the colors that they offer. So
Well, that explains it.
Can't go wrong with that.
All right, we have none other than
Vito.
And then over here in the middle, just telling me off all the time, always telling me, it is none other than.
Megan.
She's giving me the evil eye right now. If you
It's going
can't
to be a
see her.
long night.
Yeah, you can't. It's already been a long night. And yeah, we're happy to be back. This is the Geeking Squad podcast where we talk about all sorts of pop culture subjects, stuff that's going on lately in the news. Everything, man. Media, entertainment stuff, comics, movies. It's crazy shit in the news, especially like conspiracy. We love all that conspiracy stuff and
We sure do.
not political conspiracy stuff
fuck
because
that.
God,
No.
we've had it up to here with that shit.
We're not doing that.
No, we ain't doing that. But, you know, things like UFOs and aliens and other weird things like that. We like to talk about that. We encourage people to join us in the Geeking Squad group on Facebook where we get most of these ideas. People post memes and news articles and stuff in there. They share it. It's a great group. I love the group, man.
Yep.
We got a
people in there.
yeah, we got a good group over there. A lot of regular posters and stuff. And so we take the best of the best. We make a little list and we talk about it on here, the things that we feel like we have something to say about. But you know what? I won't ask what's up. I'm going to tell you what's up. We're all excited because this is the first time we are recording with our new toy.
Yeah, we got a new fancy schmancy toy. We've had a lot of fun playing with this thing.
Yeah, and we've barely scratched the surface with it, I think. But we have something. What's it called?
The ZOOM PODTRACK P8.
Yeah, so it's like a cool, like, but before we always used like just a regular outboard mixing board like I use at gigs and stuff, and then we go into Vito's computer and we use whatever program it is. What did you normally record with?
We usually use Logic Pro on the MacBook.
Logic Pro. Okay, yeah, we were always using that, but we thought it'd be really cool to try this new thing because podcasting is all the rage. And now they've come out with all these different like devices, and we looked at the Zoom one, and the Zoom one seemed like it was the coolest. And it finally just came in, so yeah, we're pretty...
Waiting months for it.
Yeah, we've been waiting a while for it, but I think we're one of the first people to actually get it, so that's exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, so hopefully this sounds good and doesn't suck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We like what we heard so far. We'll see.
Yeah, we shall see. But without any further ado, I think it's time we get into one of our first segments that is called...
What's shaking, bacon?
Yeah, it's our favorite segment, Bumper. It is none other than What's Shakin' Bacon. And in the What's Shakin' Bacon segment, we like to just talk about, it's kind of a general mishmash of stuff that's been going on in the news. So, Meg, do you want to start us off? What's been happening? What's shaking, Bacon?
Well, unfortunately, it's starting to be a trend here. Is we had a couple of recent deaths that were kind of hard hitting for us, like Dawn Wells from Gilligan Island.
Yeah,
I loved her. She was my favorite freaking character.
I know.
Her and the professor.
I know.
Well, it's the lifelong debate about, you know, which one would you want to be your girlfriend? Would you want Ginger, the movie star, or
Marianne.
Marianne, the country girl? Me personally, it was always Marianne. I don't know about you, Vito.
Vito?
His girlfriend material, yeah.
Oh, okay.
But when you're looking
As you know, hey, what's up for the night? Then Ginger was the
when you want a nice girl to settle down with, you always pick the Marianne. But when you're looking for a loose red-headed hooah that you can shack up with for the weekend, you go with Ginger.
Well, she's a movie star. She's going to be high maintenance, right?
Well, right.
Well, yeah.
So it's probably not, a long-term thing, I would think.
I mean, Ginger, I like Ginger. She
okay.
was pretty and everything. She was funny and stuff, but it was always Marianne. Marianne was it. And then, boy, oh boy, this year is just brutal on the babes because the next one that passed away was none other than Tanya Roberts, man. Dude. Now, how do you feel about old Tanya Roberts, Vito?
Well,
that says it all right there. What?
for a MILF, yeah, she's nice.
Dude.
Yeah.
When I was a kid, Tanya Roberts, man, she was in, was it Beastmaster?
Oh, yeah, okay.
She was like the sword-wielding babe, and whew, yeah, I liked me some Tanya Roberts, man. Later on, of course, a lot of people knew her because of that 70s show.
That's how
I know her.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, dude, you need to go back and watch some.
Yeah, she was a hottie back in the day. I mean, she was pretty hot and
Dude.
She looked good in that 70s show, man.
yeah.
Oh, then
she was really hot back
Yeah.
in the day. Yeah.
Vito.
Oh yeah.
You just don't even know. You got to go back. You got to go back and watch some of her because she was great. Because she was like kind of one of those almost. They were like borderline B. See, to me, they weren't B movies. I considered those like big mainstream movies. But then I talked to other people, and they're like, "Oh yeah, those forgotten schlocky movies." I'm like, "Hey, motherfucker, what are you talking about?" Beastmaster is the shit, man. But in any case, yeah, she was in a lot of those. She was always like pretty badass. She was an ass kicker. So, yeah, died weirdly. So, yeah, is she dead? Is she not dead? Because we were told she was dead, and then it was like, oh no, wait, she's not dead.
She's not dead. She's still here.
And then it was
now
like,
she's dead.
yeah, now she's dead. Yeah, so that's not the best way to go. But anyway, we salute both of them.
Mm-hmm.
Killer actresses and entertained a lot of people, and sorry to see them go. I'll tell you, everybody was sitting there going, oh, can't wait for 2020 to be over with. 2021.
It's not shaping up so well.
No.
Alexi Laiho from
Yeah,
Joe.
yeah,
well,
that's the one I'm thinking about. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the biggest one, man. Yeah, that's brutal. And that sucks. That hits close to home because
He was young.
he was only
Yeah.
41.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I met Alexi a few times, seen Bodum several times and stuff. I wasn't friends with him, but I have good friends who were good friends. One of my friends was like best friends with him.
Mm-hmm.
So it's really hitting home, for a lot of people, and that sucks. Yeah.
When I first heard Bodum, that like blew my mind, dude.
Oh,
Those
yeah.
first 3 Bodum albums are like pristine. I love those so much.
Yeah.
And I was literally one of the first people to see Bodum play live in the United States for the first time at Milwaukee Metal Fest. Dead center row on the rail right in front of Alexi. I was like,
Wow.
this is so damn cool.
Yeah. Yeah, they were great, and Bodum was a gateway band for a lot of people, maybe into more mainstream rock or metal type stuff, and wasn't really into like the death metal kind of scene or that more epic kind of black metal, symphonic metal kind of stuff. Bodum was a really good
Gateway.
introduction to that. And so a lot of upset people about this. So yeah, we salute you. So we have, I feel like we only ever now, there's so much of this going around that it's like here we are, Geeking Squad podcast. It's going to be fun. What are we going to talk about? Dead people.
So what we get out of the way first thing.
I suppose that's true. You're just, Megan's turning into that fucking creepy kid from The Sixth Sense. Megan, what do you got for us this week? I said dead people.
Well, speaking of what we thought was dead but may not be dead,
Okay.
Joss Whedon, Firefly
Yeah.
might be coming back from with Disney Plus.
That's big news for a lot of people.
It sure is.
Now, here's the funny thing about it, though. I've never seen a lick of Firefly before.
Me either, not a stitch of it.
I've seen maybe the first 2 or 3 episodes, and I watched the movie Serenity but I watched the movie before watching the show, so I was like, this doesn't make any sense. And then it actually ruined, I guess, the show because they give away something that you're supposed to lead up to in the show or something that didn't get answered. So I was like, oh, yeah, I totally watched this backwards.
Serenity did not do very well, did it?
No.
I think it bombed.
And I didn't think it was that great of a movie. But I mean, I haven't seen it in years. I just remember Summer Glau was in it, and I'm a huge Summer Glau fan. That's probably the only reason why I watched it, to be honest. Yeah, but
Summer Glau.
yeah.
Glau. It sounds like Inspector Gadget. Like, look at the Glau. Anyway, sorry, but yeah, I don't know. So, I realize we probably have to turn in our. Apparently, people in the squad are hating us because they're like, "What do you mean you didn't watch
They've disowned
Firefly?"
us.
There's a huge Firefly cult of people that just adore this show and think it's like the greatest thing since.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, a very small niche of people that adore this. I guess it's not that small, but.
Yeah, it must be big enough because we had enough people just in our group that were like, "You guys are
What?
idiots."
I don't even know you.
So yeah, I guess that's big news. They might be bringing that back. But one thing that at least 2/3 of us are big fans of is going to have a change coming up soon.
Well, maybe.
It's rumored anyway.
It's rumored, yeah.
It's about time. I mean, it seems like it just happened, but what we're talking about is the latest Doctor from the Doctor Who, Jodie Whitaker, is talking about leaving the show after 3 seasons.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's pretty
Seems
common.
to be the run of the mill how it goes.
That's
on
what
that
Matt
show.
Smith did.
It seemed like he was on there so much longer.
Well, it's because 3 seasons is on the Doctor Who show. It seems like it's dragged out.
Yeah.
I think that has a lot to do with it. What's weird to me is it doesn't feel like Jodie Whitaker has been on Doctor Who all that long.
No.
I still haven't watched a lot of Peter Capaldi's stuff.
I haven't either. He lost me with the sunglasses, and I haven't gone back.
But I went and I did go watch, I haven't watched it all. I didn't watch all of the Capaldi stuff, but I did watch certain episodes and everything. It's really good. I warmed up a lot to him. I wasn't ready for him.
You weren't ready to let go of Matt Smith, were you?
No. And Matt Smith was so amazing because I wasn't ready to let go of
David Tennant. Hell no.
Most people still aren't ready to let go of David Tennant. If
Let's talk about it.
If you told people right now, like, hey, David Tennant said he'd come back, even though they've never really done that, they've never brought back
An old Doctor to the...
not full time. There have been limited appearances and stuff with time travel stuff because it's Doctor Who. But if they said, okay, we're just going to bring him back, we figured out a way he's going to regenerate and back into his 10th Doctor self, by and large, people would be like, okay, they'd be okay with that. I hate when they mess with Doctor Who stuff and everything and they twist it around too much, blah, blah, blah. Hey, we're going to figure out a way to bring David Tennant back. Okay. People would be totally okay with that because he's the fucking best. But Matt Smith, man, he was a great Doctor.
He was good.
And he was just so good. I was so in
It
love.
took me a while to warm up to him.
I almost feel like if we got, because Vito does not watch Doctor Who.
I've seen 3 of the newer episodes. And one of them was cool. The other one was this is not cool. And the other one was I don't know.
Don't understand. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like Vito probably would be best off if we started him with Matt Smith. If we started him there with fish sticks and custard and all that business, with Amy Pond when she's introduced and all that. I feel like if he watched that.
Yeah, that might be more Vito.
I feel like that would be more, to his liking and stuff. Because that's with all the weird thing with the tomb and, there's some cool shit, weird, mysterious shit. It's that whole first 2.5 seasons is a big mystery. We'll see. I don't know. If they get rid of, or if Jodie Whitaker quits, I'll be curious to see where they go with it.
Well, I just read somebody that people are voting for. Oh, Moff Gideon himself.
Really?
Yeah, ooh, that's interesting. I don't know if he could play a good guy.
Yeah.
I don't think he could do it.
That'd be a hard one to get past, man. Because just like in the reverse, it's like when David Tennant played the bad guy on the Jessica Jones TV show, and everybody's like, oh, he's such a bastard. He's one of the most evil people. I'm like, that's the Doctor, man. It's like, he ain't so bad. Come on. They're like, but think about all the horrible things he does. I'm like, but it's David Tennant. How can you not like David Tennant? David Tennant, even when he's mean, you kind of,
Yeah, I
he's
just
so
saw
enjoyable.
in one of my Facebook groups, the Doctor Who Facebook group, that they were like, did everything David Tennant do after Doctor Who, was he a bad guy in all of them?
Almost.
Yeah.
Kind of. Well,
He's an
Broadchurch, he
asshole.
wasn't. He wasn't a bad guy,
Yeah,
but
he
he was
wasn't a
like
bad guy.
a
He was
grisly character. Yeah.
He
Grizzled.
was dark.
Yeah, it's dark. Exactly. One person that is not dark, and that
we all love this.
that we all love. This is the redhead themed episode because we talked about Amy Pond and we've talked about Ginger, and now we've got good old Dr. Beverly Crusher. Gates McFadden is supposed to be doing her own Trek-themed podcast. I'm listening to that.
Heck yeah. She's going to be bringing on all her old...
Co-stars.
That's it. I keep wanting to say co-host. I was like, wait, that's you guys. That's you fuckers I'm stuck with.
Yeah, you are stuck with us.
Yeah, so that'll be real interesting. I'm anxious to hear their inside stories.
Yeah, we talked with another Star Trek alum,
Sure, yeah.
last year who was saying they were interested in possibly doing a podcast too. And we're not going to say who. We're going to leave you all hanging because we don't want to out them in case they don't want it, I mean, they may have, they told us they might have told 1,000 other people, but I don't want to be the
Your
one.
secret is safe with us.
Yeah, I don't want to be the one that's responsible for outing it if they're like, hey, I wasn't ready to tell people about that yet. So, so there may or may not be more Star Trek podcasts coming from Star Trek stars. I hope it happens.
Me too. That'll be real fun.
Yeah, I was pretty excited when we found out about that one. I was like, ooh, that'd be some good stories coming from that. Speaking of the stories, gotta watch my stories. One of our favorites recently was The Mandalorian, and there's some news related to that. So you heard.
Yeah, I heard that on the book of Boba Fett. It's hard to say.
Book of Boba Fett. Rubber baby buggy bumper.
It's just going to be a 4-part series. It's going to be a little mini series. It's not going to be a whole season or multiple seasons. It's
Okay.
4 runs and that's it.
Interesting.
And then it's actually pushed The Mandalorian 3rd season back into 2022.
Oh, God.
Since this is going to be December 2021. It's going to be the 4-part series. And then The Mandalorian's going to start right after it. So I'm wondering if it's going to kind of, I don't know, maybe lead up to where The Mandalorian picks up.
Right. There might be
Sort
something.
of old Rogue One style.
Yeah.
Yeah, there could be something that happens in there that ties it up together. That's okay. Yeah, I'm definitely down with that. I don't necessarily want the Boba Fett thing to be too long. A little mini series, I could deal with that. Yeah. So on the note of that too, there's more information coming out about possible characters who are going to be played by certain actors.
Yeah, I guess John, was it Favreau?
Yeah.
I'm terrible with the names tonight. Geez. Tonight, it's every night. Who am I kidding? But he is eyeing none other than Robert Downey Jr. to play none other than
Grand Admiral Thrawn. Again, kind of like what we were just saying about David Tennant. I feel like you put Downey into a character and it gets a little hard to not see Robert Downey Jr. You know what I mean? Especially
But he'll be blue.
But that's what I'm saying. He's still
Thrawn blue.
Yes. Yeah, he's all blue. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. It's just like, I think he worked so well for Tony Stark because in so many ways, Robert Downey Jr. is Tony Stark. I mean, there was no other choice for that. He's perfect for it. And I loved him as Sherlock Holmes and things like that. But when you start bringing him into something like Star Wars, I don't know. I'm open to it. I'd have to see it. I know there's been some other people that they mentioned.
Yeah, I'm more down for the Benedict Cumberbatch.
And see, but that's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't
You're
know.
not digging that one either?
No.
Really?
No, I'm not so open to that. I feel like, to me, they're still so in the public consciousness as Doctor Strange and Iron Man. You know what I mean? Then to put them in the Star Wars universe, where so much of Star Wars, to me, is about, it has to be its own thing. Very few times, I think, can you pull that off. Harrison Ford is a rare exception because he's Han Solo and Indiana Jones. But that also kind of works because, let's face facts.
Kind of the same thing.
They're kind of the same character. One of them's on Earth, one of them's in space, So I don't know. I don't know how I feel about all of that stuff. Moving on from Jon Favreau, moving on to another famous director, Peter Jackson just put out something that I was personally really excited about, which was he released a little teaser trailer thing for the Get Back sessions, the Get Back movie sessions about the Beatles. Now, I know you guys aren't like big Beatle fans or anything like that, but it looks really interesting. It's taking, back in 1969, in January and early 1969, the Beatles had filmed a whole bunch of recording sessions for an album they were intending on calling Get Back. And the whole point of it was they were trying to get back to their roots, because the White Album had been this really massive undertaking where they all kind of went 4 different ways and the band was starting to fracture. Well, Get Back eventually became Let It Be. And that album came out posthumously after the Beatles broke up. They made a movie for it, again, posthumously, out of all this footage that they had filmed. And the movie's just really dark and dour, and it accentuated the, like, here's a band that's bored with each other and bored with life, and they're breaking up.
Oh.
And it just doesn't...
It's depressing.
Yeah, it is. Let It Be is a very depressing movie. I used to watch it a lot when I was a kid, but I haven't watched it in a long time because I'm like, I don't want to see it. But over and over and over, everybody in the Beatles have come along and said, like, look, yeah, we did break up, but what you saw in that movie was not representative of the whole thing. Like, we spent most of our time actually really enjoying ourselves, and there was a lot of fun stuff and, you know, and all this stuff, but that movie that got put out was like just a bummer. So Peter Jackson, being this huge Beatle fan and collector, and he got a hold of all that footage, he said, I'm going to do it right. And he's putting out a new version, more like a documentary kind of style thing. We don't know exactly how he's going to do this yet, but because of COVID and all that, it's been pushed back. But he knew people wanted to see some, so he just put together this cool little 4-minute clip of all this stuff. It's like some of the best shit I've ever seen.
Wow.
For the Beatles. Like, there's funny things of them goofing around, and you watch it and you're like, oh, that's the Beatles. Like, yeah, that's them. That's them being silly and doing these different things and having some cool jam sessions, and it doesn't come off like dour, and plus he just brightened up the footage, because even when you watch Let It Be, it looks grainy and dark and shitty. It just wasn't very well done at the time. And he made everything look and sound really good. So yeah, Beatle fans are really excited about it. So apparently this isn't going to come out until probably later at the end of the year. Something else that we need, apparently, I didn't know we needed this in 2021, but apparently Reebok is going to be releasing sneaker boot things that are modeled after Sigourney Weaver's Aliens boots. It's pretty fucking cool, actually.
It is pretty cool.
Now,
Pretty silly.
Okay, now here's my question. Would either of you wear them?
No.
No.
You wouldn't actually wear them?
I wouldn't wear white shoes. No.
That's the only one. They're white. If they were black and they look like that, yeah, I'd probably do it. I haven't seen how much these things are supposed to cost, but I have this feeling. What are those other crazy shoes that everybody's paying all that money for, Vito? Yeezys or whatever they are?
I think the Yeezys or even the LeBron James signature sneakers, I think. Those are like $500-$600, dude.
Wow, that's insane for shoes.
Yeah, and that's what all these preteen young teenagers want, are these basketball shoes that are like $500.
You better go get a job.
Yeah, for real.
2 jobs.
That's true.
And they're ugly as fuck. Like, they're not even like, oh, wow, that's actually like a badass fucking sneaker or whatever. No, they're just fucking ugly. Like, why would you even wear those, man?
It's like that Louis Vuitton purses or whatever. Like, oh, why?
Yeah.
Why is this all the rage? I don't understand. They're ugly.
Brand name.
Because it's brand name.
Yeah,
people,
that's ridiculous.
People love that brand name.
I don't get
stuff.
that shit.
Yeah.
Well, there's one brand name coming back that I know you are excited about.
Yeah.
That goes right in your belly.
It sure does.
What is it?
It's the Viennetta ice cream. I thought for the longest time, I imagined this son of a bitch.
I don't even know what this Viennetta stuff is.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, dude.
It is high class ice cream.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
It's like
more than push-up pops.
It's like an ice cream cake.
This is the Grey Poupon of ice creams. Okay.
Yeah, people are really excited this thing is coming back.
We were just talking about it not long ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then it was funny that I was like, oh, it's coming back. I have to get it. It probably tastes like shit. I don't even remember, honestly, but I'm so excited about it.
Well, the key is...
When's the last time you had it, like as a kid or something?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why it's like, did I imagine it? Did it not really exist?
Right.
I can't find it anywhere.
Well, the key is going to be whether or not it tastes like it used to taste. Because that's the thing with a lot of these things they bring back. You get excited, it comes back, and then you're like, oh, this doesn't taste the same. Is it just me or what? And you find out a lot of times it's like, well, we changed some of the ingredients because of the times or whatever. And it's like, yeah, you ruined it.
Yeah. I know some people are upset because it's going to be with Good Humor instead of who it was with, which I can't remember off the top of my head now who it was with. But Good Humor bought that company out. So it's still with the same company. But yeah, they may change the recipe around because it doesn't look exactly quite right on the box even.
Right. Yeah. Well,
but I'm still going to eat it anyway. I'm so excited.
Yeah, it'd be fun to try.
I just can't hide it.
She knows she wants you. She wants you in her belly. Speaking of food, but much less appetizing, and getting back on the nerdy trip. So, yeah, you shared with us something that was just not pleasant.
Not pleasant at all, no.
Yeah.
Not looking forward to the future at all now. Apparently Star Trek Discovery, which we all need to fucking watch, by the way.
I know,
we
I
are so
know.
lame.
Yeah, we're real far behind on that shit.
Turn our nerd cards again. Apparently Replicator Food is made from human waste.
Makes sense.
Because they need the atoms or whatever. They can't just make up atoms to make this food out of. So that's an ample supply. So they take it and separate everything out, and it's used for replicator food.
Yeah.
The Japanese were trying to do that too and make them shit steaks or whatever.
Oh, I forgot about
Yeah.
the shit steaks.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I mean, look, whatever. I mean, who cares? I mean, I eat hot dogs. Do I really want to know where hot dogs are from? Because I already know I don't. I know enough. We're eating assholes and shit all the time with a lot of the food that we eat and stuff.
It's in limited quantities. I mean, so much of that stuff can get through.
I understand. Yeah, and the food you eat.
It's not all shit.
Right. It makes sense.
It's enough.
It's practical, though. I mean, if they could do that now, so if they came up with something like that and they could do that now and that could solve like
World hunger.
world hunger problems and all that shit, you're telling me that would be a bad thing?
Well, no, Larry, that would not be a bad thing.
But I mean, if that's what you had to do, if you suddenly had to start eating shit replicator food.
As long as you don't tell the public that
Don't
it's shit
tell us
food.
that's shit food. We were fine for decades without knowing it was shit food.
Well, but here's the other thing real quick before like some nerds go,
Yeah, you're getting it all wrong. This is why you should be watching every episode of Star Trek.
if I understand correctly, what they're talking about on Discovery is that is even further in the future. That's like 31st century stuff. And that it's supposed to be that they originally were making replicator food out of some other substances and things that they had in order to replicate the food. But further on, after like all this stuff has happened and wars and some things happen, that stuff was like depleted.
They're kind of like in a...
Yeah.
Yeah.
That stuff was depleted, so they had to resort to taking the atoms and stuff from Poopy.
Gotcha.
That's the way I understand it. I didn't watch the episode, so maybe they might have explained that more in detail or whatever. I just
understand
the article.
That somebody was eating an apple. She's like, I prefer real apples. And he's like, I've
Right.
never had a real apple. All I have is this. And it's all made of shit.
Right.
That's how I understood it. But again, we didn't watch it, so we don't know.
When
Somebody inform us.
when life gives you shit apples, you just eat it because you got no choice in the 31st century.
You eat that shit.
We got a lot to catch up
I
on.
hear a lot of good things. I hear a lot of bad things about this season. They compared a lot. It's funny. I think it's funny that one girl is always crying on it.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you know where I'm going with this.
Oh,
and they
boy.
keep putting Janeway's picture in there, but it's like she's like, yeah, you don't cry. Like, this bitch fucking cries in every goddamn episode.
No, she didn't. Janeway did not cry in most of the episodes, Megan. It's just the handful that you watched.
It just happens to be every one I've watched. Okay.
Well, you didn't watch that many.
And that was still first season stuff, right? You never got past like first season?
No.
Yeah. See.
Please do me a favor and just pick up season 2 and start there. Just fuck season 1. We can explain to you everything that happens and just start with season 2.
Or hell, even season 3 if you want.
Or even season 3.
Once 7 of 9 comes on board, then it's like, all right.
It's a different show.
We're going.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a way.
And I'm not just saying that for obvious reasons. I'm just saying they actually, the storylines and stuff really evolved after that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. Agreed.
Okay.
I agree. And then one last thing for this squad. Speaking of just weird things that you wouldn't want to eat, we heard saw an article about a different kind of egg.
Mm-hmm.
So what was this about?
So I guess a little Chinese boy accidentally happened to just come across a dinosaur egg.
Yeah, it was like 66 million years old.
Yeah, he was just playing in a stream, and he had this walnut or whatever, and he's like, I want to crack this walnut open. And he was looking around for a rock, and he kind of dug through the clay or whatever, and he found this really weird one. So he's like carefully like dug it out, and he loves dinosaurs. He's like, oh, this is a dinosaur egg. I know it.
And it actually
fucking was. So they called in the authorities and everything, and they like protected the site to make sure nothing happened.
Yeah.
And they found 10 more fucking eggs.
No shit. So it was like an old nest.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
That is pretty cool. But I guess it's like a space in China where they're starting to find a lot of dinosaur bones.
Wow.
It's a hotbed for it right now. So that was pretty cool.
Nice.
That's cool. Hopefully they'll have more like interesting finds and stuff like,
Mm-hmm.
It'd be nice to have more dinosaur talk for us. It's been a while.
It has been a while. I love my dino talk.
Yeah. Yeah, we were talking about the Bone Wars and all that stuff
Mm-hmm.
back a while. God, that was a while ago now.
It was a while ago. It's super fascinating.
Yeah. So hopefully they'll have more discoveries and we have more to talk about. We'll have to see.
Yep. Time will tell.
You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.
And it's time that we get into just a little smidgen, a little smattering of some squad talk. Explode. See, we need to have that sound effect, like a big explosion thing.
Yeah.
So in Squad Talk, we just talk about like a few things that we particularly want to focus on a little more than the other stuff. And this is going to be all geek, all nerdy, all science, all the time. And what's the first thing you got for us, Queen Nerd?
Queen Nerd. I have NASA scientists actually achieved long-distance quantum teleportation. Was that over 27 miles?
27 miles, really?
Yeah. It's impressive.
Now, what is it that did they actually transport something? Like they moved something? Or was it just like atoms?
I think it's...
No, I think it's just atoms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're trying to get to information to travel at that speed and distance. That's the whole point of this thing, I think, is to kind of make these quantum computers that can process information at like trillion times faster than a supercomputer can.
Oh,
And it's supposed to be way more secure. Like you can't hack it like you can a computer code.
Well, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Because there's like no code. It's literally like an atom of
Right.
whatever they're doing.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense to me because I'm so dumb that
Right.
just goes over my mind. But the concept is cool.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think you're dumb. I think it's just that, a lot of this
Very
stuff,
complex.
it's complex and a lot of it is just kind of new. Well, maybe we are dumb, it could be too. But okay, so this isn't really so much about like trying to teleport like a person.
Humans like
like Star Trek style.
No.
This is more about
It's
exchanging
only-
information.
Yes, because I don't think actual physical matter can travel faster than the speed of light, but information can.
Okay.
Mhm.
And that's what they're trying to achieve here. Because I think the ultimate goal is to make a quantum computer that like processes again across like parallel dimensions or states of quanta or whatever. I don't know, dude. It's just way over my head, but it sounds very fascinating.
Yeah, I got lost pretty quickly.
That is pretty exciting to think that there is a time when we could be not only, doing things, say, like, quote, for lack of a better term, online. We're doing things where we're trying to, like, communicate or get information, and not only will it be, like, way faster, but the fact that it's, like, super secure. Because I don't know about you, I'm always afraid of getting my shit hacked.
Oh, yeah, heck yeah.
Using a credit card. Yeah, Vito knows all about it. Your ass got hacked a little while ago.
A few times, yeah. The band page definitely got hacked, but I've had like my bank account wiped out from shit.
Are you serious?
Oh,
holy shit.
Yeah, now I use a special kind of debit card that doesn't link to my actual bank account. It's like a reloadable card because some asshole got me and they wiped out like $2,000 one day and I was like, what the fuck?
Wow.
Yeah.
Were you able to get that like
yeah, but it took a few days, dude. So
yeah.
Yeah, that's why I always lock my cards. I lock it long enough to use it and I lock that bitch back up.
Yeah.
That's a pain in the ass though.
Well, it's on my,
I should probably do the same thing. Yeah, I worry about that all the time because like everything I do is online,
Yeah, me too.
So much ordering, shopping. I pay all my bills online. I can't tell you the last time I paid something by check.
Who has checks anymore?
I have checks.
Well, you would, Vito.
I check.
That makes sense.
No, but seriously, I use a check for like one bill and like that's it. And the rest is all online debit card or taken out of my checking account or whatever.
I take it. Yeah, once in a while I use a check. I'll pay my dentist with a check or something like that because he prefers it that way. But but
Just doing it under the table.
yeah, do those fillings through under the table. No, it's just simpler.
It's bad lighting under there.
Yeah, exactly, dusty. But so anything they can come up with that's going to make things like that more secure. Although it's only going to be a matter of time before some fucking dweeb is going to be like, hacked it, cracked it, I figured it out.
Like, oh yeah, I can't do it. Watch me.
Yeah, because if they can make something like this, somebody can figure out a way to subvert it.
Yeah, fuck it up. Get something nice, you fuck it up.
Yeah.
The penalty for that, though, should be he has to be disintegrated atom by atom and shot through that quantum tunnel and then forever evaporated into a bunch of different universes or however the fuck it works.
Fucking
Shit, Vito.
Yeah. That'll keep him from hacking that shit.
That would.
Right?
So we can add that
do
to
it once
the list.
and you only do it once.
Yeah, we can add that to the list. We have acid death.
Split in half.
We have being split right down the middle. Yep. And then we have having your atoms separated, shot through a tube, and just dispersed into the atmosphere.
Wow.
Vito just loves those creative ways of murdering people.
Yeah, man. You can only do so many butcher knife deaths before it becomes boring. You gotta spice up a little bit.
Electric chair, that's for fucking kindergartners. Well, there's some other things that came out, some other news that had to do with this sort of stuff. There's some sort of like parallel universe stuff. What was this about?
So this, when I was reading this, it said like there's a scientific method that they're figuring out with this, but I never actually saw anything about them talking about this process in this fucking article.
Okay.
I was like, okay, is this just, you're just talking out of your ass here? I don't understand. But they're saying like when you dream,
right,
and it seems super vivid, you could smell it, you can taste it, it seems like it's real, that you are actually in a parallel universe of yourself. So every time in life you make a decision, you go one way, the parallel universe, you went the other way.
Okay.
So every time you kind of split off in all these different parallel universes.
Well, like Donna Noble, turn left.
Yep.
In Doctor Who.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same idea.
Yep, exactly. And so when you're dreaming, you're in one of those other parallel universes, seeing, like if you're like dating somebody else or in a different job or a different city or something like that. It seems familiar but strange at the same time. They're supposedly saying you're in a parallel universe.
I can buy that, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's funny because I was just going to go, I don't think I buy that. Really? You think that there could be a chance? Well, okay, here's the thing. I do kind of potentially believe in things like astral projection. I do think that there's a possibility that could actually happen, like the idea you can project yourself out of the body, sort of not exactly like, but sort of like Doctor Strange style when they do that sort of thing. I do think there might be a chance for that because I tend to believe more in sort of like that your consciousness is beyond this crude matter that we are like trapped in, your body and all that stuff. But I just don't know if I believe that your dreams are necessarily that, well, you're going to your other self in this alternate reality. I mean, I guess maybe, but I'd like to know what it is that makes them think like, oh, this is it. Yeah. And here's why.
Right. And that's why I couldn't find out where the scientific part of it came in there. Now they are talking like they would like to basically harness this and I guess maybe that's where it comes in. They want to be able to prove it and see what we can learn about parallel universes with this. But even if it's not parallel universes, I think it could be interesting to follow this kind of scientific theory.
Right.
Because the brain is a fucked up place. There's so much things the brain can do. So it'd be good to understand that kind of thing, Yeah,
my whole thing with that is there's a couple, but to me there's only probably two possibilities of reality. One is we're living entirely in a computer simulation. The other one,
I would never expect Vito to say that.
No.
The other is our brains are just a receiver, kind of like a television. So there's always this consciousness out there, and your brain chemistry dictates your personality and how you act. But it's all one energy field, I guess. And this whole thing is, well, if your brain is shut off a little bit, maybe the other parallel universe is picking up a little bit of you from this one and just kind of transferring that over. And you're kind of getting a little glimpse of that in a dream state or whatever.
Interesting.
Again, those are all possibilities. I think all sorts of shit, but it's just like, I'm really curious exactly what the science is behind this. Like what they feel like, oh, here's what we think like proves
how did they
this.
come up with this theory?
Because, I mean, the three of us could sit around and just come up with shit all the time. It'd be like, I think
that's what Facebook was intended to be used for, right?
There you go. But I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it, about the whole dream thing. I tend to believe more like what Vito was saying about the fucking simulation kind of computers, matrixy type of shit.
Because some scientists said that they proved that that's actually true, that we do live in a computer simulation. So
Now, where's the science behind that one?
I don't know. The article didn't say. It was another clickbait article.
Right?
Oh, we're going to have fun with these sound effects in here. If they have any more follow-up on this, I would definitely be interested because I'm really intrigued with the whole concept behind dreams and stuff. That's why we've been threatening to do a dream episode of the podcast for a while now where we talk about dream stuff, dream movies, dream story, all theories, all that kind of stuff. So hopefully they come up with something more and then maybe we can talk about it some more
later.
Yeah. And more on that later. And then one last little bit of squad talk. This one, I didn't even know about this, but you brought this up to me, Megan. What was this about?
Yes, I saw an article that the FAA was alerted that there was a UFO that fell into the ocean over Oahu, Hawaii.
Nice.
Okay, something tells me it's not legit because I would feel like there'd be bigger news about this if it
Well, it was going crazy in Hawaii at the time when it happened. Like there was multiple people that saw this and called it in, and it was one big long blue light, and they said it was moving super incredibly fast, like faster than anything. And this lady she said she doesn't believe in UFOs.
Okay.
She's like, I'd never believe in them, but I don't know what the hell this was. Kind of like when I said what I saw, like I don't know what it was. Yeah. I've never seen anything do this. And that's what she was saying. So it was a super bright, long object that was in the sky, and they followed it for about 3 miles or whatever she said until they saw it fall into the ocean. And she said they saw another smaller white one that they followed as well. That was like in close proximity, but they lost that one behind a mountain. Okay. And then they don't know what happened to it. So the authorities came out and they checked it out, and they're like, we can't find anything in the ocean. There was nothing there. There's no debris, like if it was a plane crash or something like that. Something fell in the ocean or went down in the ocean. Yeah. They're going to get the kaiju or something. Right. We don't know what's going on here.
Well, that was going to be my point, was the fact that they didn't find anything is the thing that really has me intrigued.
Mm-hmm.
More so than that there was something like that felt. Because, I mean, if you were standing on a beach and you had something move at like supersonic speed. I mean, if you were able to stand on a beach and see something like the X1, like Chuck Yeager flew when he broke the sound barrier. I mean,
You'd hear it.
well, I mean, and my point is you would see it. It would seem unnaturally fast to you. You get what I'm saying? Like you would just sit there and go, it moved faster than anything. It's like, well, how fast have you seen anything move? Maybe a race car or something like that. Like most people have not stood there and watched something move that fast. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's hard to say. Plus, there's all sorts of things. There's space debris and all this other shit. It could have been some sort of debris that came in and was moving, and maybe because of just the natural elements, of it entering our atmosphere and being on fire, and if it's metal and whatever it's made up of, and if it was, there's all these things that I don't automatically go, oh, well, it's got to be a UFO ship or something. But I am really confused as to why they couldn't find anything.
Unless it just sank to the bottom of the ocean.
Well, I mean, yeah, if it was something where it just went too far down that they couldn't, but if it was some sort of ship thing, it could have went under the water and then like
down there releasing whales.
Unidentified submersible object, the old USOs.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you laughing?
It's going down in one of those underground tunnels.
Well, think about it. What is it? 70% of the Earth is water?
Yeah.
So
way to do it.
Yeah.
It'd be underground bases under the water.
It would make sense. I mean, that would be the way they wouldn't be detected.
Or Hawaii just had a really, really bad year with tourism, and they need something to bring in that revenue.
Vito's just fucking laying them down tonight. There's been more and more and more people seeing things lately.
We've kind of talked about this before with the aliens and everything like that. With this latest bill that was passed, our $600 stimulus bill that everybody's crying about or whatever.
Yeah.
Included with that was a tick down time frame to release the alien documents.
So they've signed that into law that they got to release all the alien documents. Huh?
Yep. Apparently that was all included in that.
It's just going to be a sheet with just black marker all over it. Release all the other documents.
People are so crazy. It feels like everything's crazier than ever. Is now really the time that we want to lay it on them? That it's like, hey, guess what? Aliens do for sure exist. We know about them. The government's known for however many years, and we've got all this blah, blah. Like, is now the time?
Well, like we talked about before, why the fuck not at this point?
That's when they're going to storm Area 51, dude. Remember that whole shit last year?
Oh, how can we forget?
Old Naruto run?
Yeah, the good old Naruto run, man. Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I'll believe that when that happens and see if they actually release that. But
I think Vito's right. I think it'll be redacted.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get our hopes up and we're going to read it, and it's going to be a bunch of bullshit. It's going to be
a bunch of Facebook posts saying this isn't true. Look at these documents; they're not even the right one, or whatever.
Yeah, it's.
And what side do you believe? I don't know. It's they both got compelling arguments.
or maybe Mark Zuckerberg is an alien.
Yeah, that's true.
Because he kind of
look like one.
Data.
Yeah,
he does.
Exactly. He does look like Data.
What do you suggest?
Well, I suggest that I learn how to operate this thing. Because,
yeah, we need to label those buttons.
Because, boy, oh boy, I just pushed the wrong buttons, and I'm always pushing the wrong buttons. But, yeah, we are at the What Do You Suggest segment. This is where each one of us suggests something that we think you should look into because we dig it. And so should you.
We say so.
Because we fucking said so. That's why. What do you got to argue with me for? If I'm suggesting it to you, I'm doing it with good intentions. Just fucking check it out.
Right?
Jeez. Yeah. Anyway, Vito, what do you have to suggest?
So I got an oldie but a goodie. This is a movie called Fortress 2 Re-Entry from 2000, starring my boy and yours, Christopher Lambert.
Oh, Christopher Lambert. Nice. I like Christopher Lambert.
And with the number 2 in the title, you know that this is obviously a sequel to the movie Fortress, also starring Christopher Lambert.
So I don't know anything about Fortress.
So Fortress is like this movie where it's kind of in a more futuristic world where you're only allowed one child. And if you violate that, you get sent to prison.
Okay.
And Christopher Lambert and his wife have a second child, and they try to sneak past the security border patrol, but she gets caught, and he fights off these guards or whatever, and she escapes, but he gets sent to this prison that's in like the middle of nowhere and like 30 levels down under the desert. He ends up escaping. I'll ruin the movie for you, but whatever, because there's a sequel, so you know that he escapes. But in this one, he's put into another prison because they find him and his wife and his son, and guess where they're at?
Where?
In space.
Oh.
On a prison platform.
Okay.
And shit goes horribly wrong, and he has to try to escape, and like there's these...
That sounds like your kind of
Dude,
movie.
it's so good, yeah.
That somebody described it to me like that. It's like there's this prison platform in space, and I'd be like, oh,
Vito.
go talk to Vito. Yeah. Sounds cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
Never heard of it.
Not a lot of people have.
No.
But I own it on VHS and DVD, and it's on Amazon Prime streaming right now if you want to watch
good.
it.
It's on Prime.
okay.
Yeah.
All right, that's
Check
good to
it
know.
out.
We'll definitely check it out.
Yeah.
Check it out.
Check it out. Megan, what do you have to suggest?
I have a new goody but a goody, whatever,
Goody but a goody.
a movie with Mark Wahlberg.
Okay.
It's called Spencer Confidential. And I guess this is a sequel or something as well, because there's a... But anyway, it's based on this other character named Spencer, and I guess people are divided on this movie.
Okay.
Either they love it or they hate it. And if you know anything about the backstory of Spencer and stuff like that, I guess they don't like it.
I see.
I went in this, I just was flipping through. I was like, okay, I'll check this out. So I knew shit about it. I didn't know anything. I didn't know what to expect. And I really got wrapped up in it. It was really good.
That's cool.
It's on Netflix right now, and it's about a cop who's released from prison.
Okay.
So I got a prison story too.
All right, good.
And he tends to get wrapped up in other people's business.
Okay.
Or if they can't protect themselves or something like that, he does it for them, and that's how he ended up in prison in the first place.
I see.
So it turns out, he was an old Boston cop, and everybody's trying to run him out of town because they hate what he did and thinks he's a bad person, which he's really not. He's a good person.
Wait a minute. Now you're asking me to just stretch my bounds of reality here. You're telling me that Mark Wahlberg played a Boston cop?
I know.
Oh my God.
You're right out of town.
Long story short, he basically has to take down a bunch of corruption in the city and set everybody straight and make the city safe again. And it's just he makes this new buddy friend that, these random people that help him solve this case.
Okay.
And he's got this ex-girlfriend that's just all Boston accent and shit.
Pepperidge Farm.
Yeah.
She's totally annoying, but she, I guess, plays her purpose towards the end of it. She kind of grows on you.
Yeah.
But I really enjoyed it. I got wrapped up in it. I didn't expect to enjoy it so much, but
Cool.
it's a good action film.
All right.
And it's on Netflix?
It's on Netflix.
Awesome. All right. I have to look into that one too. My recommendation for this week is a book written by and compiled by John Walsh, and it's called Flash Gordon, The Official Story of the Film. Because you may or may not know that I love me some Flash Gordon.
No.
Is this America's Most Wanted, John Walsh?
No,
Oh.
I'm pretty sure it's not.
Lame.
Yeah, sorry. That'd be America's Most Wanted is Flash Gordon. Anyway, yeah, no, I love the 1980 movie Flash Gordon. It's got a cult following. People. It seems like more and more over the years I've encountered more people who are pretty affectionate towards that film because it's just fun, campy. I mean, that's what it was. It was based off a campy serial from back in the old days and stuff. I thought they did a really good job. It's got an incredible soundtrack and everything. But there's never really been, unlike Star Wars and all these other things, there's never been a ton of information about it. Flash Gordon isn't one of those movies that has 5 different documentaries you can look up on Netflix or on YouTube or any of those things. So this book is really cool. It's got all these behind the scenes photos and stories and just the whole story of making the movie. And it had a really colorful cast, that was in it. You had Max von Sydow as Ming the Merciless and Timothy Dalton, in there and stuff. So it's pretty cool, man. It's just Flash Gordon stuff is kind of hard to get. There's not a ton of it out there. Even not just information like that, but just collectibles and everything. There's a handful of toys and a handful of other things, knickknacks here and there and stuff. So anytime something comes out about Flash Gordon, it's like, I have to have that.
I don't think I've ever seen Flash Gordon.
Whoa. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to have to change that.
I've seen parts of the movie, and it was,
Dude, you need to watch it. Dude, there's no reason you wouldn't like this movie.
I've got some of those serials in DVD form. I think Flash Gordon's Trip to Mars or something like that.
And did you like those?
Yeah, those are okay. But I'm into those black and white serials. I don't know if I would like this 80s cheese fest that it is.
I mean, it is cheesy, but it's still like a pretty cool story and stuff. Yeah, there's some good humor and everything in there. The soundtrack's fucking incredible. I don't know. It's not the kind of thing that I think you're going to be like, dude, this is my new favorite movie or anything like that. But I think you'd enjoy it. But you can't just watch like little parts of it. Yeah. You're not gonna. It's gonna seem real weird and goofy in that way. Yeah. No, I'm gonna make you guys watch it one of these days.
Okay, I'm down for the cheesy. Give me cheese.
Yeah, there's plenty of cheese in it in a way. But last but not least, we always like to go out on a recommendation for another show, whether it's like a podcast or a YouTube channel or anything like that. We like to recommend because it's not just all about us. There's all sorts of other good stuff out there that we think you should check out. And this week, I would like to suggest a YouTube channel. You could find it just under his name. It's Joey Casada. And he does a show on there called Top 5 with Joey Casada. And he always has like a bunch of different guests and stuff that go on there. Some of them are like people that are in other musicians or they're comedians or comedic actors and stuff like that. Because Joey is a guy that probably the most common way a lot of people I know would know him is he played drums for a band called ZO2. They had a pretty cool, popular show that was on, I think it was on IFC network called Z-Rock that was all about them there was this trio. They're a rock band by night, but by day to keep alive, basically, they go out and perform like a Wiggles type band. So they're these total like drinking, womanizing, like hard rock dudes and stuff. But then during the day, they go and play like kids' parties, playing like, the wheels on the bus go round and round, that kind of shit. It's that show. It only lasted 2 seasons. It's fucking hilarious. It's literally one of the best TV shows that ever existed. They're so funny. And especially for us as musicians, there's a lot of shit that happens on there. Kind of like Metalocalypse or any of those things where you're going to be like, oh boy, yeah. I've lived through that. I've seen that. And they would have all sorts of like really cool guests on there, other famous actors, famous musicians and stuff. I first found out about them because they opened for Kiss back in 2004, I think. It was like Kiss, Poison, and ZO2. Really cool guy, incredible musician, but he's fucking funny too. And he does, so like they just did top 5 favorite superhero movies of all time. So he's very similar to us in a lot of ways, a lot of the things he does. Of course, we do our top 5s. He does his. But then they do other things. He'll do like top 5 like worst drinking experiences kind of thing where it's like top 5 alcohols I'll never touch. One of them is like, Goldschlager. Don't touch that, that kind of thing. And it's really funny. And most of the episodes, like they're around an hour long and everything. It's really good stuff. So if you kind of like the stuff you hear us do, and a lot, if you like our humor and the stuff we talk about on the squad here, and if you like our top 5 things, I would highly recommend checking out Joey Casada. It's on YouTube. I'll put the information for this in the description below. Yeah, I guess that's it.
That was a lot. We crammed a lot in there.
Yeah, we really did cram a lot into this episode. So it's been a slice. It's been fun talking to you all. We will be back soon with episode number 16. We're getting into the upper teens now.
Sweet 16.
Yep, sweet little 16. Yeah, Christine 16. The creepiest of all Gene Simmons songs. It's like, why is this middle-aged guy singing about Christine 16? It's like, well, it's Gene Simmons, so go figure. But in any case, we'll be back soon. It has been a lot of fun. And we'll be back before you know it.
Later, guys.
See ya.
Bye-bye.